Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird at the Blackbird Grimoire. Welcome to the daily forecast for Friday, September 17th, 2024. On the day of the lovers, Venus's day, Freya's day, Frigga's day, the 6th of Libra, the 25th of Vine, the 6th of Raven, and the 4th of Hasmondir. And as you'll notice, I have a lovely little assistant with me today. My cat Daisy, she had an unexpected and unplanned batch of kittens. Uh, there are five of them, and they are all gorgeous. And now I'm finally getting a chance to actually introduce you to them because she was very stingy about letting anyone else have much to do with them. But now they're toddling around. And this poor little one, before I started recording, was kind of wandering and crying. And so I thought, maybe a little bit of cuddling might make him feel better. We have, for the record, one orange one and then four grays. And this one, I believe, see, we have names for two other grays. One is called Lionel because my mother-in-law thought he had a very lion face. The other was a bit of a lone wolf, so we started calling him Wolf. And I think this is our gray girl who we have not quite named yet. So if you have suggestions, leave them in the comments. She hasn't shown us enough of her personality for us to have come up with one just yet. So hopefully that changes soon. But now for today's astrology. The sun is in Libra, cardinal air, representing justice. The moon is fourth quarter Leo, fixed fire, representing central ideas. Mercury is in Libra, cardinal air, which is the visionary. Venus is in Scorpio, fixed water, which represents passion. Mars is in Cancer, cardinal water, which is seeking security. Jupiter is in Gemini, mutable air, representing questing. And Saturn is retrograding in Pisces, mutable water, which is to redefine dreams. And Uranus is retrograding in Taurus, fixed earth, representing rebellion. Neptune is retrograding in Pisces, mutable water, which is spiritual awakenings. Pluto is retrograding in Capricorn, cardinal earth, representing transformation. Now, for our retrograde reminder, Saturn, it's about reclaiming your authority. For Uranus, reconsider how you rebel. For Neptune, reclaim your magic. For Pluto, reclaim your authority. And for Chiron, restore heroic spirit. Our moon phase is the fourth quarter. It is time for us to release what does not serve. We have a Leo moon, which means the do's are lead, perform, be artistic, and the don'ts are depressing environments, unappreciative people, and detail oriented work. So on this day of Venus, we have Scorpio Venus and the Leo moon, and they are just in combination begging for a night out on the town. But whether you go out or you stay in, focus upon your special someone, make them feel like the center of your universe, make an extra effort with your personal appearance, be open hearted, and perhaps you will seduce them all over again. Today's tarot card is Temperance, part of the major arcana, which represents persistent, far reaching impact. Its number within the major arcana is 14, so you break that down to 1 plus 4, which equals 5, which equals challenges. And the key word for the card are balance of opposites, moderation of extremes, attaining harmony, attaining balance. Very suitable card now that we are a few days into Libra season, and we are probably feeling that solar impact to try to rebalance ourselves in a wide spectrum of ways. And it may be that we're being called to balance the aspects of our lives that we didn't realize we're out of order, or that has surprised us that we're getting all of these nudges of attend to this now. And sometimes the reason for why we get these nudges isn't always apparent in the moment. So if you are feeling a pull to, you need to get something in order, you need to rebalance, you need to create a bit more harmony in your life in some fashion, probably best to go with it now and discover the reason later rather than fighting against it or ignoring it and then going a few yards down the road and realizing, oh, that's why I was getting the nudge. So just word to the wise on that. Next up, the Celtic triad for today: 3 foods which bring disease, short life, and dull understandings: flesh food, sweetened food, and highly seasoned food. So now with everything else, there's a proper amount of flesh food. I mean, we can always have too much of it. The Celts, I think, were a bit more suspicious of flesh animals than perhaps the Germanic tribes were. People seem to have so much more benefits from a very high protein diet. So that, I'm taking that aspect of it with a little pinch of salt. But I mean, you, of course, come up with your own viewpoint on that. And then sweetened food. Sweeteners of all varieties are having detrimental health effects everywhere. It's obvious for us to see in our own daily lives. It's very difficult to bring that under control because there's a wide variety of foods that, you look into them and, oh, it's got all this other stuff into it. So trying to establish some moderation, it is a long road. And then with seasoned food, seasoning should enhance food and not cover up its natural flavors or detract from them. I realize in some circle this is blasphemy. Not really sure how husband unit feels about this himself. Sometimes he likes his food to attack him as flavor goes. I am. I think food should taste good. I think there should be seasoning. I don't think it should be excessive, but that's me. Gotta get a little bit of water. Gotta balance the kitten. Don't know if you can hear it, but apparently the lawnmower man is coming by today just now. Okay. So the engine roars a little less. Again, I don't know if my microphone is picking up on that, but I could hear it. A bit distracting that. And I think I've got enough water to where I can talk again. So today's magical correspondences are about easing sorrow. The color is purple, the plant is the peony, the animal is the raven, and the crystal is the amethyst. When it comes to sorrow or grief, you do have a choice whether or not these times are chapters in your life or if they compose the entirety of your life. It is a shocking and extraordinary thing that so many people they make their grief, they make their sorrow, they make everything that ever went wrong in their lives, real or perceived, just the center of their identity and everything about their life. It's a hell of a way to go through life. I don't think that's beneficial for anyone. I also think the people who do that don't exactly listen to people who think the way that I do. However, if you can see the point of just allowing grief and sorrow to be processed, to acknowledge that what they are is really ungiven love or love that you feel was wasted, whatever the source of the emotion is, of working through that, coming to find a peace with it, and then allowing yourself to move on, you will be better off. And the people who are determined to self destruct, I don't know what can be done for them really. Now for today's practice. And this is a big one for me because I've had conversations really that really took me off guard because in the conversations, the perceptions of romance, what people thought romance consisted of and what it didn't consist of, it did not bear any resemblance to my understanding of the term. The things that people disliked, I think they were what they were describing had more to do with lust, more to do with hookup culture, more to do with shallow gestures, and not anything really to do with actual romance. So I'm very curious if there'll be any responses to this. But first up, do modern perceptions of romance have anything to do with the actuality of romance? Because I think there's a major disconnect there, and part of the issue is I think is that people have never known any different, never known any better, and so of course, how would they identify what actual romance is if that is completely outside of their observations and personal experience? Um, yeah, I have a whole thing of thoughts associated with that, but let's move on for now. What could the combined energies of your natal Venus sign and the current Venus position achieve? Again, we're taking our own astrological energy combined with the energy around us and seeing what we can do with it. And then for our third eye chakra, have you been listening to your intuition? Because your intuition can nag you, but if you choose not to listen or you choose to ignore it, it's not doing you very much good. So, in order to get the benefit of it, you have to be willing to listen. So, are you doing that? And then today's Hermetic principle is cause and effect. Are you sowing the seeds that will produce the effect you desire? It's amazing how many people do the exact opposite and then they're surprised when they don't get what they want. So, it is worth contemplating today. And then for the witch's pyramid, we are looking at the interior today. The interior is it's supposed to be filled with love. Are you becoming more or less loving? And if you find yourself struggling to have benevolence within you, well, I understand that given the environment that we're in. However, we shouldn't allow the people who are in opposition to us or who dislike us to really color the relationships we have with people who are not hostile towards us and who are hopefully important to us. So something to think about there. And then for today's journal prompt, brainstorm how you can better incorporate magical elements into the bedroom. You might be doing this because you want a bit more romance in the bedroom. I mean, who doesn't? Or, perhaps you are struggling with insomnia and you need to be able to have an environment that's a lot more conducive to sleep. Or maybe you have the opposite problem. You've been sleeping too much and you need to bring it into better regulation. Whatever it is that you are needing to work on, just come up with a few options for yourself. And that will do it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Have a magical day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye from me, and bye bye from Gray Kitten.